Everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends 6-inch Spider-Man Spider-Punk figure from Hasbro. Now this figure is part of the Lizard Build-A-Figure wave, and it comes packaged in the same style we see with all the Marvel Legends. You've got the black box with the red highlights. Up at the top you've got the Legend Series logo. The figure's clearly displayed in the window box. Then down below you've got the Spider-Man logo and the name of the character. On the sides of the packaging you just have some artwork for the character, and then on the back of the packaging you have a look at the actual figure, a brief bio in multiple languages, and then down below you have a look at all the figures in the wave that you need to get in order to complete the Lizard Build-A-Figure. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now first of all, you get the right arm for the Lizard Build-A-Figure, and I'll be taking a look at the Lizard figure in its own review once we've looked at all the figures in this wave, so be sure to check back for that. Okay, so for the first accessory that you get for the actual figure is this guitar, which you see him use in the comics. He's part of this band that he uses to kind of rally against President Osborn in his universe, and this is done with just a white plastic. There's not really much in the way of paint detail on it. You do have some blue down here on the knobs and the handle. It's an electric guitar, but I do like the sculpting detail on it with the strings, and then you've got the knobs back here, and it looks like you've got some scratches on the front of the guitar, and then even on the back of the guitar they've done a little bit of sculpting detail with these plates down here, and again some knobs up here and everything. So overall I think they've done a pretty good job with this. Now the guitar portion is actually a pretty hard plastic, but then the handle is more of a rubber type plastic, so it does bend a little bit, but does seem to come out of the packaging fairly straight. And then you get this strap, which is done with a rubber type material. It's just black, and you do have some texturing on the strap. And then finally the figure comes with two different pairs of hands. So you get a pair of guitar playing hands, and with this set you've got the right hand where he's holding the little guitar pick, which is done with just a blue plastic. And then this hand is, normally I would call this a web shooting hand for a Spider-Man figure, but you can also double this as kind of the peace symbol while he's playing the guitar, which is how they pose him in the package. And then you get this second pair of hands where the right hand is a closed fist, and then the left hand is kind of a grip hand, so almost looks like he's plucking the strings on his guitar with the fingers on this one. I don't know if that's what the intent is, but that's what it reminds me of. And you got pretty good detailing with the black webbing painted on there and everything with both sets of hands. And I like the little guitar pick on this one. I think that's a nice added touch. And switching out the hands is easy. You just pop off the hand you want to replace. You got the little peg on the hand and the hole on the arm, and then you just plug in the hand you want to replace it with, and it should snap right in and fits nice and tight. And then here's a look at the figure with him holding the guitar. So I've got that grip hand with the fingers. Definitely seems to be for tweaking the strings on the guitar. And then I have the one with the little pick, so he's using both hands in this case. Again, you can use this one as kind of either a web shooting hand or as just kind of holding it up for that peace symbol while he's playing the guitar. And you don't really need to have him hold it because of the strap. The guitar will stay secure on the figure without him actually holding it. Okay, so for the figure itself, now I've got to be honest, when I first saw this figure, my first thought is, do we really need a Spider-Punk figure? And I can't say that my opinion has changed that drastically. Now part of it is I'm not that familiar. I didn't really read the Spider-Verse comics, which is where this character comes from, and so all these different variants of Spider-Man really just don't do a whole lot for me personally. But if you were a fan of this character design, I think it's actually kind of a good figure, good looking figure. So first of all, he's got just a normal Spider-Man head, but they seem to use a more metallic white on the eyes, so it picks up the light a little bit more than a normal Spider-Man head sculpt. And then of course he's got these spikes for a mohawk on the top of his head, and these are done with a metallic silver, and they're just sculpted on the head sculpt. So definitely gives you that punk rocker look to him. And then he's wearing this vest, which is removable. It's done with a rubber type material, and it's done with blue, and you've got some texturing here on the front, and it looks like he's got some pins and stuff, and then spikes here on the shoulders. The sleeves have been cut off, so you've got that tattered look. And then on the back, again, you have some texturing, which looks pretty good. Looks like a blue jean type vest. And then he's got this spider symbol that says FSMN, or SM, and then FN at the top there with the X. So you see this in the comics and everything. So again, pretty good detailing with that. And again, you can actually remove the vest, which is nice. And then underneath here, the design of this particular Spider-Man outfit is I read somewhere that this originally was this version of Spider-Man was going to be called the Spider UK version, and then they ended up switching it up and doing this version for Spider UK as part of the Captain Britain Corps. But I think this version was originally intended to be Spider UK, and then he got renamed as Spider-Punk. But I like the way the costume looks and everything. It is different from the normal Spider-Man. Now the actual mold is basically just a reuse of that original pizza eating Spider-Man mold, so that's what they used for this one. But it works well for the figure. And again, you've got the webbing and everything, which is painted on here, and then he's got the blue that comes up on his chest, and he's got the red here in his waist section. The arms look very similar to the regular Spider-Man, and as I understand it, I believe he's got the same powers as the normal Spider-Man. He doesn't have like special musical powers or anything. Then on the back, you have the hole in the back, and the back looks different. He's got these red markings on the back. You do have the little pins here on the arms, which are unpainted like we often see with Spider-Man figures. And he's just got the blue legs, and the blue is a little bit lighter color than the regular Spider-Man. And then he's got these tennis shoes. He's wearing these big bright white tennis shoes with red markings on it, so again, kind of go with that Spider-Punk look. So overall, I think they've done a good job capturing the likeness. I like the way the sculpt looks. Again, it's just a reuse of that pizza-eating Spider-Man sculpt, but I think it works well with this figure. Okay, so Hobart Brown here, which is Spider-Punk's real name, stands about 6.5 inches tall. If you count the middle spike on his head, it's actually a little bit taller, closer to 6 3/4 inches tall. And here's a comparison with the pizza eating Spider-Man. Well, technically this is the Spider-Man from the San Diego Comic-Con Raft box set, but it's the same mold. And you can see Spider-Punk is actually a little bit taller than the Spider-Man, not only because of the spikes on his head, but also because the tennis shoes, I think, give him a little extra height. And just for one more comparison, here's a look at the Spider UK figure, another Spider-Verse figure that Hasbro's recently given us. Okay, so for articulation, it's pretty much on par with the pizza-eating Spider-Man figure. You can turn the head to the left and to the right, and he can look down good, and he can look up pretty good as well. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint there at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good. He's got good rotation. He's got that butterfly type joint, so you've got back and forth movement with the arm. You've got a bicep swivel. You've got a double hinged elbow, so good bending there at the elbow. You've got rotation at the wrist and hinges on the hand, so up and down movement there. You get the ab crunch joint, so he can crunch down pretty good, and he can look back about that much. You get a waist swivel. Legs, you can do the splits only about that much, and then he can get his leg forward and high good, and can do his leg out and back. He's got a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, so good bending there at the knee, and then you get a rotation there at the shoe swivel, and then you've got hinges on the feet, so up and down movement, and then he does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I would say, honestly, this is not a character that I was super excited about getting, but probably will definitely appeal to somebody like, say, Shartimus Prime. He'll probably definitely dig this figure. But for me personally, it's more of a, do we really need a Spider-Man Punk figure? But if you do like the character, if you like the look and everything, this is a pretty nice looking figure. I like the guitar. I like the hands they included. The vest is nicely detailed, and even the tennis shoes, you know, look good on him. So again, if you like this particular character, then I think you'll definitely want to add this to your collection. Now this figure is available overseas along with the rest of the wave, and then will likely start hitting shelves here in the United States either at the end of February or early March. That's the release date I've been given. Now that's not set in stone. We could possibly see it a little bit earlier since it is hitting overseas. I picked this wave up off of eBay, so some of you always ask where I get these. That's where I got this wave, is from eBay, because again, these are out overseas. We'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, please hit that subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. And you can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.